Aloha! Welcome to my channel. Sorry about that again. Son of a biscuit eater. When I was working over the weekend, I turned off my mic so I could listen to all kinds of crazy shit. So, let us begin again. Hey, you guys, welcome to my channel. Uh, this weekend, I was working on 5 and 6. Build and Husky were the prompts for AnimeTober or Inktober, and then for AnimeTober, I've got Levi from Attack on Titan. And thank you very much. I probably would have had this entire stream in quiet. Thanks, Tatted Hearts. Here goes Silent Candles. Some magical hands. Woo! Anyway, yeah, this character right here, Chisaki Kai. I don't know who he is really, but he's in I want to keep wanting to say Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, and he's kind of like a crow type of character. So I kind of have like some ravens and stuff, and the prompt was husky, so I wanted it to be more like crows kind of pulling a sled, but since I have such a limited area, I had to just kind of improvise. So I got a little bit crow action going on in the front here. Okay, so today I'm going to be working on my character, one of my favorite characters from Kimetsu no Yiaba. I'm making like 2 hoodies. I want to make 3 because I saw this really cool picture of him, but I'm still trying to design it, and I was working on that yesterday, and I was just like too tired to keep going. I just didn't like how I was working it, and I think this is like the 3rd idea. I don't even think that's I think there's like a couple ideas that I was working on. I don't even know what I did with them. I might have torn them out, but or erased them. But my idea was to, well, let me go ahead and start getting some of this stuff on here. I got on early so that I can have more time to draw, because I got to transfer 5, let's see, what do I have to transfer? Onto the hoodie. Let's see, this is how 5 turned out on the hoodie, and I still haven't decided what color I wanted to do the build in the 5 in. Maybe red, maybe that might stand out. Now that I've discovered my font that I'm using, I want to add it to the other cards, and I added a little bit more to the other cards. So I put like a dimensional paint on and a glittery paint, because I like had to have some glitter. I mean, if I'm going to do Elsa, there's got to be a little bit of glitterage involved. It turned out pretty good. And then I got the gold on here. But yeah, I started adding the dimensional paints. No, not dimensional paints, I'm sorry. The color shift paints. So it has like a little flash of blue, of purple, and stuff like that. And it looks really impressive in real life. Anyway, I digress. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the 7 in Enchanted onto this card. That way I can start transferring it, and whatever time I have left, I can work on getting it onto the shirt or onto the jacket. Okay, let's see, Enchanted, because I suck at lettering. Let's see, there's the E. And what's cool about this font is that it reminds me of my own handwriting when I'm, well, not even handwriting, my drawing writing. Let's see, N. I'm going too fast. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to have the E be a little bit bigger than everybody else. There's a lot of letters on here. Let's see, and before I really get into doing the letters, let's see, D, it's already, the downside to my space here is that I don't have like a full desk. I've got monitors, I've got a pad, I've got all kinds of craziness next to me. So getting straight lines is like almost impossible for me. So I'm gonna have to just kind of eyeball it. I'm gonna have the E kind of take up some of this. Let me see, E N C H A. Try to get the letters in here. N T E D. Oh, barely. Okay. There better not be another long ass word like this again. Let's see. Ornament. Really? Overgrown? Really? Long ass letters. That's alright. I'm gonna have to just get creative with how I put them on here. Okay. We'll make it work. Okay, so Enchanted, and then I'll clean up these letters before I finish. Okay, just want to make sure that it all fits. Okay, so the idea that I had was to get Tanjiro right here, and then I want to kind of, I couldn't think of anybody magical in the show that I could put in here with Tanjiro, so I decided to use his sword. And then I'm going to put the dragons, fire and water, kind of coming off the sword. So maybe, ooh, I could have the dragon here. Let's see. And I'm going to try to focus on just his torso, his head and torso. See, I got to use a lot of my space here. I really want to get a good size head because this head right here is so dang tiny. I mean, I was trying to do this sort of thing to make it bigger, and I'm like, wait a minute, Ken, this is not your iPad. It's a drawing pad, not an iPad. So, I had started out with a bigger Tanjiro and well, started out with small and then tried to get as big as I could so I could see the details. And I cursed myself because I don't want to get up all in the camera when I do this, get my hair and everything in the way. But I really, when it's a small picture, I really got to get up on it. But I need it to be, you know, that's the downsides of drawing small. I don't think I ever really used to draw small when I was a kid. But now that I'm older and I definitely have to do something, so I usually draw big and then reduce the size. But I don't have that luxury right now. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of what is it called? Trying to do perspective here and have his sword be outrageously huge coming towards us and off the card. Yeah, I really like the effect of them breaking their cards, breaking the borders of their cards. So, you know, I want this to look bigger. There we go. To give it that perspective look. Okay, his ears will be about right here because he's kind of looking down. but not by much, just very subtle. Okay, so I'm hoping this is going to be big enough for me to see. His arm is going to be about right here. And then he's got his sleeves. And then I'm going to have the dragons, or yeah, I'm going to have the dragon right here and another one right here. We'll even have it cross a bit. And I want the dragon's claws. I wanted them coming off the sword, kind of like this. So his sword looks enchanted. And now I wanted to do fire and water. Fire, I'm hoping that he develops the power from his dad. And we'll kind of tilt this a bit so that it's a little bit more biased towards one side than the other. There we go. And have his elbow come out a bit. And maybe a part of this kimono. We'll have part of his kimono go out. And stay the rest of the way inside. Yeah, but with the swirls of the dragon, it makes it hard to see details. Okay, now I can bring his head in smaller. There we go. Just making sure I'm still in the camera and if you guys can hear me. Oh my lord. It's going to be one of those days. All right. Good luck on that essay. Essay? Thanks for letting me know, Tatted Hearts. Have a good one. Okay. And we'll go ahead and turn this down a bit. Yeah, if you guys are doing the challenge, I'd love to see if you're doing the anime challenge or if you're doing the Inktober challenge. Oh, I'd love to see it. Now, I did a speed draw of the number 5. But I didn't do a live stream. My son was here, so I was able to hop on for a little bit in the morning, but I wouldn't have been able to talk, so until he woke up I was working on the picture and managed to get that processed and uploaded. He's gone now, so now I'm on here with my big old mouth. Let's see. And then I think I'll combine 6 and 7, or any of the others that need to be put onto the speed draw, or maybe I'll just do one big compilation of whatever I have. That people weren't able to catch. Because, like, who's got time for an hour video when you got essays to write? Got life to be lived. Oh, and this one I'm definitely going to put the mask on him. Funny, after doing 2 hoodies of this character, I almost could draw him by memory. Almost. You see, this whole ear I thought was red. It's not. Okay. Just a good portion of it here is red. Yeah, it's kind of hot in my room, so I have my fan going if that's part of what you guys are hearing. So I'll turn the music up a bit. Let's see. There we go. Let's see, so I want him to do the little teeth thing where he's kind of breathing, doing his little breathing technique. I'm going to bring it down a bit. And I'll start throwing a little bit of ink on here so you can both see it. Alright, so there's that. And I think it looks like his breath is what is making the dragons appear in part here. Okay, so let's... Put his earrings in. Sword should be coming up this way. So I know that there's a round hilt thing. There's another one here. See if we can get a little bit closer. There we go. We'll bring his shoulder in a bit. Okay. This hand will be over this one. draw that dragon. Okay, so I'm looking at like a little dragon statue. This is the water one. See, his eye is like right here. The other eye right here. And I think what I do with one, I'm going to do with the other. So let me see. There we go. Let me send this to the back. Okay. He's got a big muzzle. Work on the other one at the same time. Yeah, it's kind of cheating, breaking the borders like this. Okay, now this one is going to be fire. So I think for this one, I'll have less rounded, be more flame-like. Let's see. Wonder if I can crop this. So I can see both dragons at once. I think that might be working. There we go. I gotta zoom out. There we go. On this side, this one on this side. Alright. And I was going to have like the claws hold on to him, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Let's see, and still keep it clean and legible. I think I'll have like a horn. And then have a fire horn. Let's see. I think the water one should be more flowing, and then the fire one is kind of like more broken up. Just so I can do water droplets and then fire. So this is going to be the other eye. All right. See, I don't want to break it too badly. Let's see. Let's stay within some of these. It looks cool. Let's see. All right. And then let me get these letters going, and then I'm going to transfer it to the jackets. It's kind of funny. I didn't expect this to be the next my Inktober challenge. I did want to do everything a little bit more contained than I did on the other one, the t-shirt that I had done. The t-shirt that I was doing was more freestyle. So like if I could just get it in within my hoop, I could get it onto my shirt. And it was a lot to look at. It wasn't, this is more like, at least in cards, and it's still a lot to look at. But at least it's a little bit more organized for now until I get to the back and the sleeves. When I get to the back and the sleeves, it's going to be crazy. Just cards kind of falling willy-nilly. And what I was picturing before, oh god, this T is really going to be a pain in the ass. So let's see if we're going to bring it above it. Yeah, the original idea that I had was it was going to be kind of like a circle, how I was going to arrange it, but then, anime Inktober happened. Let's see, when I get ready, I think to transfer it, I think I will move these over a little bit so I have a little bit more room on the side here. Who's too fat? I'm trying to think. I guess this is T. Maybe the E. Yeah, I think these letters are going to have to connect. The feet, at least. I want to at least give it a 1/4 of an inch, kind of like right here. Well, this doesn't even give it a 1/4 of an inch. Okay. Let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 letters. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So the other long letters aren't so bad. Okay. Let's see. There's one for dragon already. Number 12. I could have saved my dragons. I could have definitely saved my dragons. But not for Tanjiro. Tanjiro had to have something. So, number 12 is Bakugo. Crap. Okay. Oh, see, that's the pain of not looking ahead. Okay, so let me go ahead and transfer this. Oh, let's go ahead and ink this part at least. And then I can get rid of some of these other lines. Now, I think what I'm going to end up having to do is create a whole nother square. I'm just going to have to paint over the lines, I guess. We'll give them like fiery teeth. And instead of it going to the sword, maybe it'll be coming out of him instead. On the idea that I had right here, it would have been him having 2 swords. This one would have been like the water, and then this one would have been the fire. So he would finally, embody both his power and his dad's power. but it is kind of hard to see, and I was really wicked tired. Okay, let's see if we can throw some of these squares onto here. All right, let's see. Okay, so this gives me an idea of where my cutoffs are going to be. Let's see if I can throw some lines on here. Let's do it this way. There we go. Now I can see the border a little bit. Alright, that's all dragon, and then there's a bit of a border right here. Try to decide. Yeah, keep that. Okay. And then around the top, I think I'll keep a bit of this corner here. And then this is fine down here. I hate these letters. Let's see, there's too many of them. Let me see. try to make them look somewhat decent. Touch this base and end up here. Okay. See if I can move my H over a bit. Alrighty. So what I think I'm going to be doing is I'm going to add my add this image to the jacket. I should be able to get this on there. I'm going to be using transfer paper. Downside with the transfer paper, it's going to be kind of light. So, let's see. I could try using this kind of paper. Like the wax paper. I don't know if I feel like doing that. Let me try this. Oh! I've already got some squares marked off. The only thing is that they're already inked. And with them being inked, it's going to be hard to break the borders. Like I can just erase it here, but I'm not going to have a easy time covering them up, but that's okay. It is what it is. Alright, so if I do this and I transfer it, shoot, it might be easier to just make another square. Yeah, I'm gonna make another square here. Alright. Oh, where is my book? I just brought it in here. Crap. Okay, I'm gonna go grab my hoop. Do with it. Crap. Oh, there it is. It's on the floor, right where I left it. If it was a snake, it would have been me. All right. Okay, so what I will have to do is transfer this. Where's the other paper? I didn't want to use this one. Where's the other one? Shoot. I don't see it. There it is. This one's a little bit more transparent. This is the wax paper. I don't need that much. So much for a clean line. Okay. Let's do it this way then. Oh! Well, this should be big enough anyway. Okay, this is the waxy side. This is the waxy side. So let's see, what do you decide? Now this is only, I'm hoping that this will take the pen. Let's see. I only needed enough so that I can just get the image and see to the other side. Yeah, it's okay. It's not perfect. Let's see if I can transfer everything here. My only other alternative is to just go ahead and rip it out. Now I would have drawn this directly onto the hoodie, but I want to reduce my pencil lines, my pencil strokes, things like that. Yeah, this right here is wax paper. Oh, also, I did wash the hoodie that, you know, for the test, to test to see if you could draw on a hoodie with a colored pencil and or crayon. I threw the crayon in there. Pretty much because you could melt it and manipulate it and stuff like that. Well, good portion of it washed out. And I'll take a second once I've finally got everything on here, just to give you guys a sneak peek of what the hoodie ended up looking like. The question was, can you draw on a hoodie, a black hoodie, and have the color still stay with a colored pencil, particularly a colored pencil, but I wanted to try it with both colored pencil and a crayon. And I'll have a video that's completely dedicated to just that. But during the live streams I had also mentioned and showed the hoodie to that subscriber, because I got bitched out one time because someone didn't get the same results as I did when they had drawn in graphite on fabric, and I got the same results doing two different items, but I didn't do them on a t-shirt, pretty much because I don't recommend it on a t-shirt. What would happen is if you are putting anything onto, uh, like, that could be washed out onto a jacket or a t-shirt or a canvas bag, um, you need something to keep it onto your bag or whatever, your material. So I use Mod Podge. It's kind of a last resort. And in this particular case, in order to keep the pencil and the colored pencil and the crayons onto the hoodie, I sealed it with Mod Podge, and I got mixed results. Basically, if you're going to, and you're bound and determined to use to use that method instead of getting off your ass and buying fabric paints, fabric markers, because I also show that the fabric paints and the markers didn't wash out, didn't lose any integrity. For the most part, they were perfect, because that's what they were suited for. For the same amount of money, effort, well, I don't want to say the same amount of money, but for your buy and your investment, your artwork, all that stuff, just buy what what is guaranteed to work on your fabric, which is fabric paint and fabric markers. That's what I'm sticking by. So this poor hoodie, the sacrificial hoodie. I have a black hoodie, and on one experiment I drew directly onto the hoodie, and I have my video where I'm going to be uploading all that stuff, the process of how I put it onto the hoodie. It's too dark and too thick to try to use a light box, so you have to draw directly onto it. So I did one where I drew directly onto the hoodie and then coated it with Mod Podge, and then tried to kind of do it in layers. Added stuff to the hoodie and then coated it with Mod Podge. But I found that it didn't take it after a while. It's like the crayons and whatnot didn't have anything to adhere to anymore. So layers was out. Eventually it ended up being out. I did one where you're drawing directly onto the hoodie, another one where you're drawing onto some acrylic mixed with mixed with Mod Podge. I'd love to see you mix Mod Podge with hoodie. And then another one where I just throw the Mod Podge on there first, let it dry, and then add the artwork to the Mod Podge. And I'll show you the results in a heartbeat. Just have this left side of him to do. So maybe after this song, I can lift it up and add it. Let's see. I'm still missing some stuff on here. And then I did one sleeve in nothing but crayon and Mod Podge. I added the Mod Podge first, I believe. Then I added the crayon, and then I coated it again with Mod Podge. And that's on the sleeve. I tried to do another layer on top of that layer, and it just would not take it. Now on this hoodie that I'm working on, it is with fabric paints and markers, so I know they won't wash out. I did use fabric paints or acrylics. I did use acrylic paint with Mod Podge on it, and I'm probably going to get mixed results on that. So I'm coating it again with fabric. Oh, come on now. Is this thing dried out? I feel like it's dried out. It should come out now. Okay. Had to lick it before I stuck it. Yeah. So the hoodie that I'm doing all this on, it's all fabric paints and markers. And even what I'm using for the base is a fabric paint, so it's not going to wash out. So I have all the confidence in the world that it'll stay beautiful for as long as I can get it to stay that way. Come on, you. Plus it's a lighter fabric, so I really didn't have to go nuts with doing a base. But big but, this is a polyester fabric, and it says it's waterproof. And these markers and colored pencils, not colored pencils, I'm so sorry, markers and the paints, the fabric paints, they're for cotton fabrics. So there's going to be that. Come on. I'm going to have to switch pens. This one's kind of, it's like, I can't take it anymore. I'm dry. Oh, this is too tiny. Okay. Let's try a different pen altogether. Now these pens I don't use on fabric. This is just to transfer the image onto, come on you. Really? You're a brand new pen. Oh, okay, there we go. Results. Maybe it just doesn't want to work on here. All this work. Come on you. It's just scratching it. Okay. My kingdom for a decent pen. Okay, let's try this one. You dry? Oh, come on. Do I have a house full of dried pens? It depends. Okay. This is... And what do? I put it back. Oh, let's try another. Holy crap. Really? Okay. Let's try this one. I pay good money for this pen. There should be no reason that this one doesn't work. Except that it's in my hands and it's a Monday. Yay! And then there was much rejoicing. Okay, so with this wax paper, I'm going to put a carbon piece of paper underneath and get this to go onto the hoodie. Okay, make sure I got all my little lines here. And hopefully it'll stay on and not rub off. Okay, all this side needs to be redone. We'll give it some fangs. See, I'm not so worried about this one breaking borders, or, you know, not being able to erase the borders because they are water and fire, and I assume that, you know, sometimes you can see through it. Did I even get the sword? Yeah, I did. Okay. So if I did have to, God forbid, use crayons or colored pencils onto a fabric, for one thing I don't want to, because it took forever to get the materials onto the jacket, or it took a lot of effort. You know, I had to press down, my wrist was hurting, my arm started hurting. That's how much pressure I had to put on to get this stupid thing to come out. And I've heard something similar like that when it came to people, colorists, people on YouTube using like these really cheap coloring books. The paper quality sucks so bad that it just would eat a pencil, and you know, you had to put so much pressure on to even see the marks. And that's what I had to go through with coloring on a hoodie. Because you have to keep in mind, just because it looks smooth to the eye, it's not. It's got texture, and it's the texture that'll eat up your writing instrument. And you have to overcome the texture in order to get the stuff on there. All the grooves and patterns in the fabric itself, you have to overcome that, and it takes effort. You have to press down. You have to keep going and keep going and keep going. I mean, it's arms day, bro, arms day, when you're doing that. And may not like the results when you're done. I'll just tell you right now. Okay, so I think I got a good portion of this done. I'll doctor up stuff and fix it once I've got the transfer on there. Let me make sure. I'm a little shifted. I'm going to try to tape it down to help me keep from shifting it so much. Okay, I think I got the bulk of everything on here. Okay. that's pretty much it. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Anything else I can add as I go? Okay, let's see. That's enough to get the idea onto. Okay. Alright, so to look at that other hoodie, and I mourn its loss. Alright, so here is. Hey Dead Set, how's it going? Just taking a quick break right here. Okay, so when I painted on the hoodie with the acrylic and the Mod Podge as a base, I was able to draw really fast and color relatively fast. And the only thing, this right here was crayon washed out. The first base that I put on wasn't too bad. It's when I started adding to it, and you know, like trying to do a layer, I coated it with Mod Podge, dried it, and then tried to do another layer on top. You only, from what I've noticed, you only get one shot at a layer, regardless on if you're drawing on the hoodie directly, like the fabric directly, or if you put something down, you get one shot. Because once you coat it with Mod Podge, that's it. It's done. The only thing that would go on top of that Mod Podge once it's, you know, you've got that final layer on is marker. Marker is the only thing that worked, and it stayed. It's still beautiful. So if you put a base down and you use markers, it'll work. But it has to be a marker that does not wash out. It's waterproof and whatnot like that. When I coated it with Mod Podge from the get-go and then drew on it and then coated it one more time with Mod Podge, it's on there, but you still see the black of the hoodie. So without having something over the hoodie, you'll have vibrant color. Let me raise it up a bit so you guys can see it. You'll still have vibrant color. You'll have texture in your, you know, because it's picking up the texture that's here. So it shows, but then you've got that ghosting image of the Mod Podge. And this one right here, this one was crayon, this is colored pencil. And the whole thing was, can you do colored pencil on here? Now, after washing this, this is what's left of the colored pencil. It's kind of faded. This is like a light color of colored pencil. I think it was, what was that? Some sort of melon color. I can't remember. But anyway, yellow. So this is what it would look like with the colored pencil. It doesn't come off after that. And in theory, if you wanted to try it again, maybe go over it one more time to make it more vibrant and then Mod Podge it again. But again, you have the ghosting of the Mod Podge around it. It's not going to be perfectly black. It's not going to be perfectly clear. It dries clear, but it has this ghosting area. Okay, so now drawing directly onto this beast with one layer would have been fine. But again, you have to overcome the fabric. So I colored directly onto the fabric with fabric paint. And then I think we managed to get 2 layers of Mod Podge on here. Worked it, put another layer, worked it. So you might be able to get away with 2 layers of Mod Podge. Might, if you draw directly onto here, that would be your first layer. And then on top of that, you know, after doing that and coating it with Mod Podge, going over with the second layer and trying to add another bit to it. But it's dark and it's faded. When I tried to go over it with the crayon, it's flaking off. Like, it's gone. So crayon, not so much on a second layer, but crayon direct onto a base of Mod Podge. This is right now, it's really stiff. I did have it folded up too. The crayon on the Mod Podge seemed to last. It's just a solid color, so it's no big difference with that. The black here was from the marker. Marker stayed regardless. And that was a Prismacolor pen that I used. It was this. And this is one of the other things that I use when I do t-shirts and stuff, because it doesn't wash out. And if it does, it just gets kind of like a dark gray, but it's still there. And it lasts as long as the shirt does. Well, probably longer than the shirt. The shirt will probably fall apart if you buy them from the same place as I do. But yeah, Mod Podge is stiff. It'll probably soften over time, probably. But it's on a jacket, so it doesn't matter. If it was on a t-shirt, it would matter, because it's like you're wearing something hard on your chest. But yeah, the crayon on one layer and then coated was fine. But it's when I started trying to do that second layer, the Mod Podge and everything wasn't quite dry. And when I went over it, it had kind of bubbled up and started, you know, falling apart. So once you have something like that happening, you're done. You screwed up your stuff. Because even though I coated it again with Mod Podge, it was no good. No bueno. So there was no coming back from this. So this is all crayon on top of Mod Podge, and then Mod Podge on top of that crayon, and you get one shot to do it right. Let's see. And then on the back, I'll show you what the fabric paints look like. These are the Arteza fabric paints. They're these little bottles that they sell. They're like 2-ounce, little tiny 2-ounce, maybe half-ounce bottles. I can't remember the exact size, but it withstood the wash. It's gorgeous. It's not flaking off. You know, and I think they were $30 for a big set of like maybe 30 little thingies, and they helped me cover this. I mean, it's like $30 versus $2, and let's see, like $2 for Mod Podge, like 98 cents for crayons, depending on, you know, like $3 to $14 depending on what kind of set that you buy of crayons, depending on the colors that you need. And this one right here was Mod Podge mixed with acrylic paint. Acrylic paint was it was just regular acrylic paint mixed with Mod Podge. That was like $1 or something for the acrylic paint, maybe $2 because it's a big bottle. And you get what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna have a hoodie that lasts a long time and looks beautiful and is kind of comfortable to wear, this right here, yeah, it's got its stiffness to it, but it's on a jacket, and I painted it with a base of fabric paint. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit stiffer, but over time it will relax a bit. There's no cracks in it or anything like that. Cracks will happen with Mod Podge, especially if you bend it and you leave it like that over time, and it's not, you know, it will crack. So yeah, should you or could you draw on a hoodie, a black hoodie? Hey, Tatted Hearts, could you do a black hoodie with colored pencils, crayons? Yeah, you could. Should you? No. My opinion, no. It's not worth the freaking money. It's not worth the aggravation, and it's not worth your beautiful artwork being tainted like this. You know, the best one that came out, I thought, was this one. And had I not gone over it again with crayon, trying to get, you know, melted crayon, trying to get that on there, it just didn't have anything to adhere to. So if you are going to go this route and you kind of like that faded look of Mini here, definitely, I mean, the only part of this that really came out well was this part right here. And that's because we did, I think it was like 2 layers of this. The first layer was on, and then we coated it with Mod Podge. It kind of faded a bit, because this is what one layer with a Mod Podge looks. This was a heart at one time. Since crayons are washable, and the colored pencils are washable, when it went over it, it's also water-based. It was taking out the crayon, but there's still a ghost of a crayon here, which is a nice little base. We colored it one more time, and even melted some white crayon onto it, kind of blended them together and stuff, coated it with Mod Podge, and it's still here. But going over that one more time. I did crayon to try to get those white of the eyes to pop out more, and it flaked off. It just didn't have anything to stick to, even with another Mod Podge covering. Alright, you guys, that was that. Alright, let's get my images onto a hoodie. Onto the hoodie. And I only have a few minutes, so let me see if this will work for me. Now, I didn't follow any real number design here. I think this was number 1. I think this was number 2. This was circle, and with mob psycho. I decided to do a circle of friends, of espers rather, on this one for mob. This one here was mindless, and I have Nobu behind Midoriya, and I think this was Midoriya's day, mindless Midoriya, but that's kind of an oxymoron because Midoriya is far from mindless. And then this one here was bait, and I can't remember the name of this character, but Yato, I think, and he's into coins. I didn't get to color the coins yet, but I was going to do them in gold. And this would have been bait. He's trying to get his little shrine together. This one here was freeze, and I thought it'd be cute to put Elsa in there, and I wanted to put a little caption that said something like the cold never bothered me either, princess, type of thing. Well, she's a queen now, excuse me. So I have like part of this side iced up and shimmery, and then the other side is supposed to be another dimensional paint, but I think it just needs another not dimensional paint, I'm so sorry, color changing paint. 6 I haven't got onto here yet, but it is done. And then build was with Levi, building a little house of cards, and I was either going to put Inktober or AnimeTober on here, but it's so tiny I don't know if it'll make a difference. So that was his build, and it's painted, the cards are painted with gold to give it a shimmer. I figure if my fat ass is going to be wearing it, it may as well be shiny. So I'm going to put number 6 here and number 7 here. That's Enchanted for today. So I'm going to try to get this on with that. And let's see. Hey, Tatted. And then these were the original images. 6 is what I got to transfer onto here as well. But my biggest problem right now is that I broke borders. Had this bird stayed in the border, it probably wouldn't have the same impact. Plus, you know, what anime, or boys anime, would ever want to stay contained, especially their characters. Okay, so I'm going to try to put that on here with, crap, I only have a few minutes. I might not be able to finish it today, but I'm going to see if I can put it here, and if not, I'm just going to go ahead and put it, I think because I've already inked it, I'll just go ahead and put it over here. Alright, you guys, I will see if I can complete this on camera probably tomorrow, and I will go ahead and do number 8 in the meantime. Yeah, he needs his own side, so I'm going to put him here breaking borders, either there or right here. I got plenty of space, but not enough time, and I even woke up early to do this. Okay, I will see you on the morrow. You guys, thank you for joining me. And Inktober for my bad boy is done. My obligation, at least for it, is done, except for the enchanted part. I got him in ink. That's what matters. I got the idea, but I was hoping to finish. All right, I'll see you on tomorrow. Bye-bye.